Steve, what you did was unbelievably stupid.
Steve says, last year, my wife and I bought a home from a family member and have been living in it ever since. However, we didn't transfer the deed or title, refinance, or switch the mortgage to our names. Technically, the house still belongs to him and his wife because we wanted to keep their 3% mortgage rate instead of the 6 to 7% rate we were quoted. We paid $150,000 up front when we made the deal, and we've been making the monthly mortgage payments since last year. Recently, we've reconsidered the deal and want to legally transfer the house to our names. The bank says they can't consider the $150K as a down payment because there's no contract. They suggested changing the sale price to $150K instead. Is this a bad idea for us? If we sell in the future, will potential buyers be confused about the low purchase price compared to the house's value? There's a lot going on here.
Whoa.
Yeah.
A lot of mistakes have been made already.
Steve, what you did was unbelievably stupid. This is dangerous. Really dumb and dangerous. Okay? Let's just pretend.
I don't know too much about real estate, but if the house was under someone's name and you trying to buy it from them, but you didn't do any type of legal paperwork to transfer the house, the deed under your name, and of course they're family members, right? What happened if you just pay, but then they, one day they be like, oh, this is still my house. I never sold it to you. Who's going to protect them without any type of legal documents?
Pretend the couple you're buying this from had a car wreck and it was an accident, but they get sued for $500,000 or $500,000
Oh, yeah, this too, some liability issues.
and they lose the lawsuit. There's now a lien on the house that they own for $500,000. You just lost your $150K in that scenario. Oh, if the bank discovers you've done this, that the mortgage is with, they're going to call the loan 100%. You have to pay the whole stinking thing off in 30 days or they're going to start foreclosure. There's a due on sale clause in paragraph 17 in the deed, the deed of trust that your relative signed, and he sold the house without the bank's knowledge under the table. And when they discover that, they'll call the whole mortgage and foreclose on him and take your house that you put $150,000 down on. Dumb.
Right, because when you borrow money to buy a house from the bank, technically the bank still owns the house until it's fully paid off. And they didn't pay it off, but they sold it to you. So technically it's still the bank's house. That makes sense.
Oh, if the house burns, you got no insurance, doofus,
There it is.
because you don't own the house. And their homeowner's insurance doesn't cover you as a renter. They had to transfer that to fire and EC, and they didn't do that either. A landlord policy. So you guys have just lined up stupidity in a row and knocked it over like dominoes. Dangerous. All so you could get a 3% mortgage that isn't even yours. You're killing me, dude. You're killing me here. Wow.
You just rented very expensively.
Yeah.
And you gave
Now,
the landlord $150,000.
what you can do is write up a contract that says I'm going to put down $150,000 and put down $150,000 and go to the closing table and get a mortgage and do a normal house transaction where you now own the house and you now have a 6% mortgage, which is what you should have done from the very first moment. And if you don't, and you want to just transfer it and just take over, you can't take over the mortgage, get a new mortgage in the amount of the mortgage what the bank is suggesting to you, that's fine too. I don't care. Get this house in your name and shut up about your interest rate. You've got a whole lot more at risk than 3% here with the level of dumbness that y'all have engaged in here. Gee, man. Just unbelievable.
Question, Dave.
You can't just make up crap like this. You have no idea what the implications are. So obviously,
He put in $150K. Would he have to get that back and then put it back in?
well, you could just
to make
show
it
it on a closing statement as a down payment. I mean, you just show it on the closing statement because it's already been transferred to the owner. Reduce what the owner is going to receive. It can show, but you have to have a contract that says this, and you can't have two contracts. It's called dual contracts. That's fraud. You can't have one you show the bank and one that's the real deal. You just show them what you're doing. We put down 150. The money's already been transferred to them, like it was a earnest money deposit. Okay, and you can do this properly and above board, or you can just not show it. Now, if you buy it and you record the deed at the lower price, to your other question, it does not affect the value of the property whatsoever. If you buy a $500,000 house for $350,000, it does not make the $500,000 house worth $350,000. It makes it worth $500,000 because it was already worth $500,000. The house is not appraisals aren't done based on what you pay for it. Appraisals are done based on what other properties in the area sold that are similar. That's how appraisals are done.
Unless everyone in the neighborhood sold for 150,000 less.
Exactly.
It's not going to affect.
Exactly. And so, no. Let's say you bought the house at a foreclosure or something at a bargain. Does that make it worth less? No.
No.
It's still worth what it's worth. You just got a deal. And so the last part of your question is not a problem at all. So if the bank, whoever the flip the bank is on this deal, wants to just give you a mortgage and put the property in your name at 150 off the price, and you guys go get a mortgage, that's fine. If you want to do a contract showing the total price and the $150,000 credit, you can do that too. Get with a title company. They can show you how to do that. It's not rocket science. But people do not do these deals.
Backwoods, Mississippi deals going on,
man. It works like this is a land contract or a contract for deed. People do those as well. It's the same mess, same exact mess. And when you've got increasing interest rates, or when people try to do this because they think they're taking advantage somehow of that, but the risk that you're taking is unbelievable.
Juice ain't worth the squeeze. That's what they say.
Yeah. And oh, by the way, if you do change the insurance into your name, as if you're an owner, you have to notify the mortgage company because they want proof of insurance. And when you notify them that happened, that's going to indicate that there's been a transfer and the due on sale clause is going to be activated and they're going to call the mortgage. So that's how I know you didn't do the insurance, because they would have already started a foreclosure on your butt. So I know you don't have insurance.
Yeah, and the reason why the bank wants you to show them that you have insurance on the house, because back to my point earlier, you're borrowing money to buy the house, so the bank still owns the home, and they don't want anything happen to it, and it doesn't have insurance. So that's why.
Screwed, man. Go get this fixed this week as fast as you can before this thing goes sideways on you. This is a disaster.
Yeah, they did last year they did this deal. And so this has been a long time, a lot of risk you've been sitting on.
Let's drive the car out on the thin ice and hope it doesn't fall into the pond. People, it's going to thaw. You're going to get wet. It just gives me a headache.
You push Dave's
So
buttons.
scary. So scary. Well, I've watched people do, and you know, the problem is these dumb butt TikTok real estate scam artists, people, how to go buy a house, and really you don't have to take title to it. That's just stupid butt stuff, man, because you don't have control of the asset. And other party goes and gets an IRS lien, boom, the title's clouded, you're screwed. The other party gets sued, a $500,000 lien, car wreck. But can you tell this has happened to people I know? And I've worked in these situations trying to clean up these messes after they've happened. Ugh. So yeah, get this thing fixed. And guys, you can't just make up real estate law while you and your buddy are drinking beer. That's not how this works. You don't get to change the way things go down, man. I got a deal. Let's just transfer it. Yeah, we'll just act like you're killing me here. Come on, man. Wow.
That does sound like how that deal came about.
I guarantee you.
That's some redneck math right there.
Man, I'll just title it. I'll forget the title. Just give me some money and we'll make it yours.
I'm telling you, is it happy hour or over a serious bag of pot? One of the two. Something was going down here. It's just, this is not wise. This is the Ramsey Show. Wow. Oh.
So what is the right way to do this? Let's go back in time.
The right way to do it is to contract to buy the house, keep your $150 in your pocket, and go get you a 6% mortgage.
And is this something you'd bring in an agent? If you don't
have to have an agent. You just got to have a contract, and you got to go get a mortgage company, get a title company to close the deal, right? And so title company can close the real estate, and you get title insurance, and then you can get proper homeowners insurance, and the things you need to do when you buy a house. And
this was all for the 3% spread that they made.
100%. And the guy selling it is just he thinks he did him a favor, and he set his relative or his friend up for a complete fall.
And there's risk on that guy's part too. He's got, I guess, this rental situation.
The biggest risk is he could get foreclosed on if he can't come. Let's say the mortgage is $300,000,
and he doesn't have the money.
And they call the loan, and he can't get the house sold before to somebody really sold to pay out, because he got to pay out $300,000.
Oh,
if they call that loan. If they activate that due on sale clause, and they will.
This is 360 degrees of stupid.
Completely watched them do it.